Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and welcome back to the Snyder Cut of Justice League. This time we're on to part five. Part five. Last time we did have part four, which was Change Machine, and we went in depth on the exploration of the Mother Box and what it was and what it could do and what the team eventually needed it to do and stuff. So that was cool. We had Victor kind of explaining towards the end. We had Victor actually explaining how the mother box works and what it does and what its intentions are based on the wielder's needs and stuff. And then the team came to the realization that technically speaking, the mother box could actually help them, like just one alone could actually help them bring back Superman. We had that cool visual of Superman being kind of like being like a hologram on the box and flying up and everything. So that shot was really cool. But we had that. We had the tunnel fight versus Steppenwolf, and actually them rescuing Silas and the other scientist that Steppenwolf had kidnapped to try and find out where the final mother box was. And Victor stepped in to protect his dad, which was cool. And that tunnel fight was kind of refurbished by Zack, and it was done so much better. We actually had some teamwork between Flash and Cyborg, and we had Batman actually standing his ground against some parademons, and Wonder Woman actually going up against Steppenwolf properly again. So that was cool. It's like a fully refurbished and rehashed kind of fight scene that actually worked in the team's favor visually and overall team dynamic wise. Like it actually showed them working together for the first time in a believable way. And then Aquaman showed up at the very end, and then he was there. So yeah, it was so cool. It was really really cool. So we had that, and we had the kind of history of the mother box being used by Silas to create Victor's body, and the mother box did create like his whole cyborg body. So that's why I think like visually speaking, especially I think in the original cut the body his body didn't look terrible. His body actually looked pretty kind of good and pretty believable for what like an alien, like a piece of alien technology would create. So I think they kind of kept that around for this one, but this time we actually see exactly how Silas used it and what he did and how the mother box actually affected Victor and brought him back. So we had that. And yeah, so now they've actually now that they all understand exactly what the mother box is, what it's capable of, what it can do, and also like how it might work in tandem with the other boxes once it's actually woken up. Because I think they do need to wake it up to actually try and bring back Superman. So it's gonna be like a shining beat, like Superman isn't the only beacon that's gonna be turned on again. So they need to prepare for like a second wave of parademons. So we had that stuff. So now going forward, we'll actually have the team going back to the scout ship to bring back Superman, and hopefully, I'm curious to see how that fight scene might go as well. Because I think I think they did have the whole kind of the pet cemetery thing where Superman didn't actually regain his memories or his identity immediately afterwards, and just proceeded to attack the Justice League instead of actually siding with them. And then Bruce had to bring in the big guns and everything. So I'm curious as to how differently this fight might go, how much more how much more or less and antagonistic he might be towards them. But I guess we'll wait and see until that happens. We had that. We had the anti-life equation. We explored that. Steppenwolf had a vision from the mother boxes that the anti-life equation is carved into the face of Earth, and that's why Darkseid has actually been rampaging across the multiverse. Destroying worlds. He's actually been looking for the key to controlling all life across the multiverse, and the anti-life equation is that key. So, Earth is two things. Earth is the planet which has the anti-life equation actually etched onto it, and it's also the one planet he's lost in his entire life, full of conquests and annihilation. Earth is the one planet that fought back, and the one planet that actually, made him and his forces retreat. So he's holding an even bigger grudge. So I think, yeah. So I am all the more curious as to whether we'll actually get any kind of prominent fighting from him against the Justice League, like against the Justice League itself, because we saw him facing the early humans and Atlanteans and Amazons and everything else, and that was beyond amazing. But I think I'm curious as to whether they're going to stick to Steppenwolf being the one to fight the Justice League, or whether they're actually going to bring in Darkseid to test his own strength against them too. But I guess only time will tell. But we have the anti-life equation, so that's what he's looking for. And the biggest cameo, arguably the biggest cameo, the biggest appearance in this movie. One thing I really did not think that they would go for, because I think looking back, I think there were rumors like, oh, here are some other characters that they could introduce. Here are some characters that they're in talks to introduce, like Green Lantern, and Martian Manhunter, and other kind of characters that they haven't actually incorporated into the universe yet. But we actually have Martian Manhunter now. So the general that was introduced to us in Man of Steel, and then the one we saw again in BVS. I didn't actually manage to look up. I think I looked up the cast list and he showed up there, but his character's name didn't actually show up there. So I'm kind of forgetting what his actual name was, General something. I think it definitely wasn't Hank Henshaw. I know that much. Hank Henshaw is exclusive to Supergirl's version, but I think this one, was it Lennox Henry? I think I read somewhere it was Henry Lennox, but I don't know if that's actually the character's name or the actor's name. But either way, they have a Martian Manhunter. They have John Jones. I presume it's John Jones. I mean, if they're going to introduce the Martian Manhunter, the one that people know is John Jones. I think like going with another one wouldn't really make much sense or have much of a point. But we have the Martian Manhunter, and he disguised himself as Martha to try and visit Lois and to convince her to actually rejoin society and to come back and not to drop her mourning over Clark completely, but also to actually reunite with the people who are still there and to actually use that strength, to use that pain to push herself forward and stuff. So he disguised himself as Martha, and then his true appearance, his green and his humanoid appearance, was actually revealed to us at the end of that scene. So that was beyond incredible. Martian Manhunter, we have him. So yeah, I'm very excited to see how he plays into the rest of this, if we see him again. Hopefully we do. I think whether or not we see the Martian Manhunter again is a question, but I think it would be more logical to actually show us his human kind of military general counterpart, because I think that's the one we've seen the most of, and that's the one that we're familiar with. So I think seeing him in action would be easier than actually seeing him flying around in green skin and CGI and everything. So either way, we have him. We have Martian Manhunter, and that's really cool. So very much excited to see what's left of his presence in this movie. But yeah, that is pretty much all I can remember from part 4. I think it was again just pretty kind of similar stuff, some rehashes and some improvements and some new stuff. So it's going great so far. So I can't wait to get into part 5 and see what's what. So yeah, on to part 5 of Zack Snyder's Justice League. This will be the highlight reel, as with all the previous reactions. So if you guys want to catch the full-length unedited reaction to this movie, then that one will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. But yeah, that is it. So Snyder Cut, Justice League. Let's go.
Not taken back from the darkness.
Not without giving one up in return.
Oh, she knows it too.
We say the same thing.
Wow, so Atlanteans and Amazons do share something.
How about that?
Mm.
Wonder Woman. What do you think, man? You think she'd ever go for a younger guy?
Oh my god, Barry, really?
5,000 years old, Barry. Every guy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't think we'd get that, Barry. I mean, you can't blame him. Barry. You can't. But it's a good point. But, I mean, hey, he's got Iris. He saved Iris in the last part, so he's got her.
Any luck?
Yeah.
How do you know your team's strong enough? If you can't bring down the charging bull, then don't wave the red cape at
That
it.
line is so good. Yeah. Oh, that response is so good. Yeah, that response is amazing. But that line from the trailer, blew me away. Oh, that theme, the flight theme. Okay. There we go, Wesley Rowe. Okay.
Oh, gee, okay.
Oh, gee. Oh, Barry is not entirely ideal for undercover work, no. God damn, that armor, the tiara. Back it up, people. Let's move it out. Back it up, move it out. Live to do science another day.
Dr. Stone, you there? I don't copy. I was mistaken. The alarm's legit.
Yeah, he knows.
Nobody, I repeat, nobody comes back inside without
He
my
knows.
say-so. Roger that, sir.
He trusts Victor. He knows if Victor's here, it must be something important. Oh, damn. Corpses. Those corpses. So what, did they just switch out his bug thing for corpses this time? I mean, corpses aren't exactly easy to look at, but still. Oh, pregnancy test. Oh! Oh! Damn, okay, we didn't get that last time. A pregnancy test. Okay, well, it'll be awfully convenient for 2 Kryptonian beings to come into her life at this point. Yeah. Piping hot coffee. My favorite kind of coffee.
The mother box is hostile.
I might be able to jumpstart it. I don't like to break this rule, but when I approach the speed of light, look, crazy things happen to time, but if I do it,
Oh, okay. Oh.
Backtrack if I can get enough distance.
Okay, we're approaching that topic then.
I
Yeah.
might be able to wake the box if that's...
I didn't think you were coming.
One last time.
One last time before she goes back to work.
The mother box is ready.
Damn, is he gonna turn back? Is he just gonna turn back time and save him from Doomsday or something? I know it's not gonna happen, but still, like that'd be, you know, like a spoof-worthy twist. Yeah, he just runs so fast he goes back in time and saves him from Doomsday instead.
The ship's
5,
This is a bad idea. Oh, it is. Keep going.
Apocalyptian technology.
4.
Oh. Whoa. Whoa. Dark side. Whoa. Diana. Her body's being burned. What? Oh, and Darkseid takes Atlantis. The Omega Beams! Oh, and even Arthur. He even kills Arthur. We saw the Omega Beams. Oh, that is okay. That's definitely CGI. That's definitely CGI. Yeah. The Green Lantern. Batman. Holy crap.
Victor?
Oh my god. So Victor had his own nightmare. Victor had his own nightmare. Oh, it's going back out. Is he reversing time? He's changing time. Is he changing time? Oh, jeez.
The future has taken root in the present.
The future's taken root in the present. So what, the future's come to the present? Whoa. The mother box. That's the box. It's the box just went flying out of the scout ship. Is he there? Does she see him? Kal-El's back. Kal-El has returned. Oh, his body's fighting back. His body's fighting back.
It's my auto defense system. It senses danger.
Danger? Oh my god. Okay, yeah, that's gonna set him off. That's gonna tick him off. Oh god, okay, now he's angry. Kala, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Time for this? Time for some of this? There we go, there we go. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, watch that eye swivel. Watch that eyeball swivel. Yeah. He can keep up with you too, Barry. He's just as fast. Yeah, his hero's fighting him now. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, the army. The army, oh. The army. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh. Oh. There we go. There we go.
You should probably move.
Oh, he remembers him. He knows him. Hey Clark, how you doing? Yeah. No words needed. That facial expression is everything. Oh, arms coming out the back. Oh, oh, wow. Just a sidestep. Oh. Just literally a sidestep and it's like, yeah, you can crash into him. Go on, yeah.
Clark, no.
Oh, okay. Oh, jeez. Oh, the gauntlets can barely handle it. They can barely handle it. Oh. Oh, the other gauntlet? Is the other gauntlet? Yeah, okay, now Lois comes in. Yeah. He should recognize that face in a much more friendly way.
Please.
I think I actually like this version better. Like this one, like with Lois instinctively finding him. Oh,
I'm so sorry.
he didn't have a choice. Superman just pushed him out of the way. Oh no, Steppenwolf is coming. Oh god, oh, please don't kill Ryan Choi. Silas! Oh wait, Silas died in the trailer. That means he's gonna die here.
Give me the mother box.
Oh. Okay. Oh, what's he gonna try and do?
No.
What's he gonna... Oh. Wait, what does he do though? Like he activates it, so then that wipes him out. That wipes out Silas. Oh. Oh my god, it vaporizes him. Oh. Oh, Jesus, Victor. I still don't get what that was meant to do. Like, the heat doesn't destroy the box, it loves heat. It absorbs it.
My father. I didn't save him. I couldn't.
Oh my god.
You know, he made the core the hottest thing on Earth outside of a nuclear reactor. Now, anything that hot would have to
Blink off the charts on a thermal imaging system.
Yeah, so he was telling them where they was.
Father sacrificed himself to mark that
So
box.
they would know where to go.
I have to get back to my lab.
Silas Stone is a fucking hero.
Satellite?
That's it.
Hey, he said he's rich. Yeah.
Let's go find this son of a bitch.
Yeah! There we go. Yeah. Okay. Okay, is that the end of part 5? That's the end of part 5. Okay, great. Yeah, both Steve and Victor said that line greatly. Okay, Silas Stone is a freaking hero. Let's get that out of the way. He's a freaking hero. So that was great. That chapter was great. So yeah, the combination of actually resurrecting Superman and having that fight scene take place. So yeah, where to start? Where do I actually start? Because most of what, like half of what I've written down is just like lines that I thought were cool, lines that I thought were notable, like like Flash being like I think I like what they did with Flash in this. I mean, I'm liking what they're doing with Flash in this movie, but they did this part especially. I think they are kind of humanizing him like a bit more, like actually making him out to be he's a far less mature hero. Like despite how armored and how cool his suit looks, he's nowhere near like the kind of experience level the other heroes have, especially not that. I mean, even Aquaman's not a hero, but he still has he still has like somewhat better control over actually fighting and active combat. I feel maybe compared to what Flash does, but with Wonder Woman and Batman, like they actually have years and experience of actually fighting people as superheroes do. So with Flash, I think he seems the youngest in both age and in both in his actual experience of actually fighting. So him, I think because of that, like his line of saying Superman was my hero kind of hit differently, like him, like especially given his age and how recent of a hero he must have been, it kind of hit differently. And also like he definitely, I think, not to make comparisons to Marvel too hard, but I think Flash definitely seems like in terms of character and in terms of actual kind of like his role on the team and his kind of his personality, he definitely seems like the Spider-Man of the team. Like that young kind of whip smart hero who's really too good with his powers, and he just kind of goes here and there, and he has those kind of responses. And him calling Superman his hero kind of like feels like like Spider-Man calling Iron Man his hero. in some sense, some sense of the phrase. But I think it really just does kind of further establish exactly how Superman is seen in this kind of world. That he's not just a god; he is a hero. He does actively use his powers, like despite what many may believe that like with his powers he could go rogue and no one could stop him. Like he actively does use his powers for better. And actually do better and to be better and stuff. So he is like a hero in that sense, and he kind of shows people like it doesn't matter where you come from or who you are or what you look like or any of that stuff. Like as long as you decide to do good. Because I think I actually decided to, once I got through the first two parts of the Snyder Cut, I actually did decide to actually go back and watch Man of Steel again, and some stuff actually kind of jumped out to me as well. Like like especially Jor-El's kind of explanation of the House of El coat of arms to Cal, like him being like inside the coat of arms is embedded that belief and that kind of faith in the idea that people have, like that everyone has the potential to be a force for good. Like that is what that is what the House of El coat of arms means. Like it's not just an S, it is hope, but it's that maintained hope, that maintained belief in every person's potential to be good and to be a force for good and everything. So I think like Clark becoming Superman, embodying that hope, embodying those ideals and transferring those ideals onto Earth. Like it's essentially what Jor-El and Lara sent him to Earth for. So I think hearing Barry say like, "Oh, Superman was my hero," it kind of further confirms that like before he died, at least that Cal actually achieved that kind of goal. He actually managed to I mean, in arguably many people, but like in like another hero as well, like in another superpowered being, he managed to actually establish that kind of idea that like that he was there, he was a hero, he was on their side, he was an ally, and all that kind of stuff. And I think I think also I think it must have been what inspired Barry to become the speedster that he did. Well, not to become because he did get struck by the lightning, but to actually embrace those powers and to actually use those powers to actually help people and to be a force for good and stuff. It must have been seeing like another superpowered person like him being a force for good despite all the kind of controversy and social climate around him. Like it must have actually inspired him to build himself a suit that could actually withstand his speed and stuff like that. So like that line, it seems fairly small, but I think hearing that for the first time, like hearing them giving Flash that kind of dialogue just seemed very, very fitting, and it kind of felt like a little bit thought provoking and stuff. So that was cool. That was really cool. Not to say they didn't try and make him a little bit comedic, like him being like, "Oh yeah, Wonder Woman, hey, like if ever reckon she'd go for a younger guy." Like I didn't think he'd go for that. I thought he'd have like a little bit of a fanboy moment, being like, "Oh, Wonder Woman, say Diana Prince, like she's like an amazing, gorgeous kind of warrior queen of a warrior princess of Themyscira." But then he was like, he instantly moved into the zone of oh, ever I can she'd go for a younger guy or like date a young guy or something like that. And then I think Cyborg had the best comeback. Cyborg had the most. I feel like Cyborg had the best comeback, but also the most Cyborg comeback, like him being like, dude, she's 5,000 years old. Literally every guy that's around her is a younger guy to her. Like there are little to no men. Or women, because she's bi. Like there are little to no. There are very, very few people. There are very few people around her that could actually, match up to her age or her lived experiences or anything like that. So, that line, like that comeback alone was like, yeah, trust me, dude. Like if you're thinking of young guys, then there are, you're one drop in a bucket full of guys. Like if you're gonna go by the age demographic. So yeah, and I think the Cyborg response seemed very, very cyborgy, but the Flash thing, like I don't know. I think it's a much better attempt at humor than what we got in the first cut. So I think I would take this over that any day. But I think again, it's like just harmless kind of indirect flirtation from Barry. So I think it's not really much to kind of take from or go by. But either way, that was cool. I think the even cooler conversation was between Arthur and Diana, like them two being from two separate spectrums of kind of enhanced races on the Earth, and like even Arthur specify. I even love like Arthur specifying like for one thing, he's half Atlantean, and for another thing, he hates the Atlanteans just as much as the Amazons do. So they've got kind of shared kind of attitudes towards them there. And then I don't know what the quote was, but Arthur actually started off a quote that he learned from Atlantis, and then like Diana finished it off. So I think that kind of hidden unity is a really, really nice touch, that despite how long they've spent apart, despite how many years they've spent in opposition towards each other, there's still one or at least a few things that still kind of unites them, or at least that they share in common. So that quote, I think something to do with like not being dragged out of the darkness or something. I don't know what the quote was. I think I'm gonna go back and actually play it again. Just do like a massive rewind. Yeah, it should be around here. Yeah, none are taken back from the darkness, not without giving one up in return. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I think he must. I think that that must have been a quote directly relating to Superman, and even him being the only one to identify that Superman is not like the Superman they got back is not the same one that they lost, and like none are taken back from the darkness without giving one up in return. So like like the darkness, he's taken back from the death that is darkness, but then he has to give his soul and his identity, who he was originally, in return. So he's come back. Like, so it's essentially a Lazarus pit resurrection without the Lazarus pit, like maybe like an alien Lazarus pit. So it's like a Lazarus pit resurrection without the actual Earth-based Lazarus pit. And it goes by that exact same formula too. Like whoever's resurrected, they come back without their soul, without their memories, without or at least without any kind of without any solid memories. I think so like Superman seeing them did kind of reignite some stuff, but I think for the most part he was just kind of like antagonized by cyborgs and initial attack and everything. So I think that line refers to that, like you can't be brought back from the darkness without losing something that makes you even darker in return. So like you, in order to get your body back, you must then in order to regain your vessel, you must first give up what is inside, like what makes that vessel its original kind of form and everything like that. So it's a cool saying. And again, it's a saying that's shared between Atlantis and Themyscira. So I think that's super cool. And I think I think this scene definitely. I think this director's cut is working to actually establish these characters as people so much more and so much better than the original cut ever did. The original cut, I think it just like it had its own kind of like long list of flaws. But I think and again, I'm trying too hard not to actually think about what the original cut was, and I'm trying hard not to compare it. But in my mind, having seen another version of this, it's hard not to refer back to it. Like, oh, was this in the original cut or was it not? And like, if so, then how different is it? Like, how much better has it become? So, I can understand that does negatively affect the reaction just a little bit. So I apologize for any kind of like distractions or anything that might produce. But still, it's like it's like I can't help but think about it. But yeah, no, those scenes were definitely very cool to see, like the team actually connecting and actually talking and stuff like that, like amidst all the madness of Steppenwolf and the mother boxes and everything. So that was really cool. And then we had the almighty Superman monument fight scene. That was so good. That was so good. Pretty much flowed for at least like a quarter of it the same way with the same kind of dialogue. I feel like them actually. Like something, again, like a few things were actually done better. I think this time Wonder Woman's response to him, like actually telling him, Kal-El, no, don't fight back with your friends, allies. Like, I mean, obviously it wasn't that extensive, but still, like her response seemed like a little bit more, like a little bit less kind of. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like it just seemed to kind of fit better with this, given that they were actively trying to actually calm him down instead of actually pretend that nothing was wrong and stuff, or that that they because I think with the added injury of him having, with the injury of him having lost his memories and having lost most of his identity, I think there was no kind of forced kind of recognition, I guess you could say. So that I feel like that flowed better, and then we still had the Flash running thing. We still had the actual Flash running trying to avoid his dodges and. That one, we very nearly had Superman tearing Barry in half with his heat vision, and then the army came in. We definitely never had the army. In the last. I think the last one, like the fight in the last one, was just really kind of it just kind of seems a lot briefer compared to this one. And with this one, it actually seems like the heroes are actively trying to power him, to actually calm him down, as opposed to just fighting him. Like this time. It's more about actually even with Diana, she even says this time Arthur, we have to restrain him. But this one actually seems like let's actually restrain him instead of actually attacking him and actually throwing more punches. Instead of that, let's actually let's actually try and hold him back, calm him down, actually try and de-escalate the situation. So yeah, this one we had the added one of like as soon as he sees Batman, he actually goes to walk up to him, and then at first I thought, oh, we're gonna get the Wonder Woman headbutts again, but no, at first we actually get Aquaman flying in from behind, and then Barry trying to run in. I think like the speed stuff in this that they established that fairly well too. That Barry that Clark is just as fast as Barry, if just as well. Like he can break the sound barrier. He can we've seen him breaking the sound barrier in Man of Steel. So he can travel faster than sound. So with him like that, with him, I love that it's not even like just like it's very barely an interaction, but that's all you need. Like Barry is getting ready to actually lunge at him in super speed, and then Clark's just like, oh, sorry, I'm in your way. Just move. Like he literally just like sidesteps and lets him crash into Arthur, and then they both crash into death. And even the response after was like they both regain consciousness, and Barry's just like, oh crap, I just crashed into Aquaman, and Aquaman's just like, you took me out. Like that interaction was great. Just so many different snippets here and there, so many cool snippets here and there that really worked in favor of this fight scene. So that was really fun. That was fun, and I much prefer how Lois came in to recognize Clark in this version than the original cut. I mean, I think with this one, I think I won't lie, right? Like I think like contingencies are very very much Bruce's thing. It's very much Batman's thing. It's very much Bruce's thing. Well, I mean, especially being Batman is very much Bruce's thing. He comes up with backup plans. He comes up with backup plans for his backup plans. He always considers every possibility. He considers every kind of way that things could go wrong, and he prepares for those kind of possibilities and stuff like that. So I think originally actually bringing in Lois to actually make sure that things wouldn't go too far sideways was not implausible for Batman as a character. I don't believe. I think he didn't really use it for any malicious reasons originally. Anyway, he just knew that if he brought in Lois, if he showed Clark Lois, then he could definitely kind of use her to kind of de-escalate the situation. He could definitely use her to de-escalate the situation. But I feel like this version just has so much more emotion in it. Like in this version, we actually see, we see everyone's reactions to Superman flying back into the sky. We see the team react to it. We see Silas and Ryan and then the Star Labs team reacting to it. We see Lois, like hearing like an explosion in the distance and then turning back around and then finding that familiar face. Like that reaction to that scene works so much better, and it actually leads into something more organic and more kind of much easier to digest and stuff. Instead of it being like, oh, Batman is Batman and he knows what to bring in and when to bring it in. It's like this one has so much more emotion in it. Like Lois sees Superman flying in the sky again, and she immediately runs back to actually meet him again, and she even comes back into him causing destruction because he doesn't know what's going on and he doesn't know who's who. But then she flies in. She has her own instincts. She actually trusts him, and she knows that she has a face that he will trust too. So as soon as he sees her, it's like power down the laser eyes and actually recognize the love of your life standing in front of you. So I feel like as much as I don't disagree with Bruce having Lois as a contingency, I feel like the emotion and the actual reaction in this one is so much more powerful and so much more, impactful as like an actual character interaction compared to what we had before. So with this one, I think I'll easily take this one over the other one any day. And I think this one speaks so much more to Clark and Lois' love. Like Lois isn't just being used to de-escalate Superman. Like she actively kind of runs there after finding him flying in the sky and floating in the sky, and she actually actively runs there to embrace him again and to remind him who he is and to actually embrace him again. After all this time, he's finally back, and she's not really wasting a single second of time. So I think this one just works so much better. But I think a scene definitely worth talking about is Victor's nightmare. So Dawn of Justice gave us a Batman nightmare scene of what the world could be like, and stuff, and what could go wrong. And this Justice League, the Snyder Cut, gives us, among many things, it gives us Victor's nightmare. It gives us a Victor's nightmare sequence. Just as he's about to drop the box, he actually gets an envisioning of exactly what could happen if the box is reawakened, and we see Darkseid is made aware, like Darkseid sees it blinking and acting as a beacon, and he's drawn to Earth. Then Diana dies. Diana dies for one thing. Diana dies, and when we see her body being burned on, presumably on Themyscira by the Amazons, Hippolyta's there. She's in tears, and the Amazons are mourning her, but she has like coins over her eyes, and she's got a shield. And so Diana dies, and then Darkseid takes Atlantis. He had the Omega beams. The Omega beams shone out of his eyes. They went diagonal and crisscross and everything. He had the Omega beams. That was so cool. Underwater Omega beams. Omega beams underwater. That is a sight to behold. But he had the Omega beams. That caught me off guard. That was so cool. But he went to Atlantis and he killed Arthur too. He actually pinned him against the wall with I believe his own trident. So he killed Arthur too. There was like a future of like the Justice League like a Superman holding a Batman mask and him like glowing red eyes, and there was a Green Lantern dead in the rubble too, and like the Justice League, like the whole of Justice was crumbled. I think we saw that in the trailer, but I think like that whole Nightmare World thing too, like that was somewhat similar to what I believe what we saw in Batman's own Nightmare World too, and even in that vision, like Superman was still alive too, so Superman. I don't know if I don't know if that's the version where Superman goes bad and he just decides to murder the Justice League or something. But either way, Superman was in that one, so that was fun. And we had what else? We basically just had Darkseid's arrival. Like the Box is awakened, the Unity is commenced, and then Darkseid shows up. Forget Steppenwolf. Darkseid shows up and he just annihilates everyone and everything. He kills the entire Justice League and he annihilates the Earth, and he presumably finds the anti-life equation. And we also had we had Black Suit Superman on the scout ship. He was holding a literal skeletal corpse. I think instinct tells me that was Lois. Instinct tells me that was Lois's body that he was holding, and that because then at first I was like, oh, maybe it's Batman. But I was like, why would it be Batman? Like, no, that wouldn't really make much sense. Like, he would not he would be mourning, but he would not be mourning like that over Batman. I mean, either Diana or Lois, because I feel like maybe him and Diana would him and Diana do canonically get along. So I mean it could either be Diana, but I mean for continuity's sake and for timeline's sake, it would have to be Lois, like him holding Lois's kind of skeletal corpse on the scout ship, and he was wearing his black suit too. And yeah, again, Steppenwolf was right beside. I think Darkseid was right behind us. I mean, in that vision, Steppenwolf is nowhere to be seen because then once you bring in Darkseid, Steppenwolf is pretty much redundant. Steppenwolf just gets reduced to like a disciple again. So the Darkseid is the one who just comes up and starts wrecking everything. So Darkseid was right behind him, and I think once they zoomed up on his face, I said, "Oh yeah, that's definitely CGI." Like that looked eerily like archive footage from Man of Steel. Like he has almost the same facial expressions he has after he kills Zod. Like he's kneeling on the ground. I mean, maybe that was that too. Maybe it was archive footage from him kneeling on the ground after killing Zod in the museum place thing. But then once they actually zoomed in on his face, it looked like archived footage from him kind of mourning over Zod and crying over Zod and everything. So it looked similar. I don't know if it actually was the same thing, but it still looked cool. Like it looked no worse just because it might have been archived footage, but it still looked cool, and it still kind of provided some kind of context as to what was going on there. So he's presumably lost Lois and he's mourning her, and then Darkseid's coming up behind him. So yeah, so much. So he gets his. So I think Bruce's vision that we saw. I think Bruce's vision that we saw was based off of the fear. Like Bruce's fear that we saw in BVS was based off of Bruce's nightmare we saw in BVS was based off of the fear that Superman like if there is the 1% chance that he can be our enemy one day with his powers, it has to be taken as an absolute certainty. So his nightmare was based off of the fear that in that nightmare too he had lost Lois. In that nightmare too he had actually lost Lois. He said like she was my world and he took her from me, so he lost Lois and maybe Martha down the line too. So he lost everything that mattered to him. He lost everything that mattered to him. Then he turned dark and he built like a cult of followers and soldiers and everything. And then there were parademons in that world too. So Bruce's nightmare was based off of that fear of Superman going dark and being unstoppable. But then Victor's nightmare, that was directly related to the coming of Darkseid. That honestly seems more more accurate to Tony envisioning Thanos. I mean, Tony envisioning Thanos was a much briefer scene. It was a much more like a direct, no cuts kind of future flashback, but like a future flash forward, like a representation of his anxiety. But with Victor, it was with Victor, it felt like a much more accurate kind of Well, yeah, I wouldn't say much more accurate, but it also seemed like a similarly kind of accurate premonition, but also like not just that. I mean, like with this one, it seemed like an actual like an actual visual representation of what the future could be, with Darkseid coming like an actual peek into the future, as opposed to any anxiety the victim might have being exposed and him like seeing like an example of what could happen. But this is like. This is actually what will and could happen if things go south and if you activate the mother box now, and if you fail to stop the Unity, then that's what could happen here. So that whole vision was insane. So we had that, and then in the scene of resurrecting Superman, Barry actually mentioned something which immediately made me think of Flashpoint. So he has already established Barry himself has established that for one thing, he can travel at the speed of light. He can break the light barrier, if there is such a thing. He can actually travel at the speed of light. But that also he has a rule. He has a rule of not doing it because he says he can screw things up. He can actually bend the rules of time and bend time itself. So we know that is a direct kind of relation to his actual story in Flashpoint. He goes back in time and meddles with time itself, and then the present is changed and the future is changed and all that kind of stuff happens. So he has a rule. He actively has a rule that he's aware he can do it. He's aware that if he pushes himself, if he goes as fast as he can very much do that. But he actually makes sure not to do that instead. But then I think like a little bit of a hint actually happened. He actually got his distance. He went running. He actually went running, and then the closer he got to the mother box, the mother box actually lifted itself back up out of the fluid, and then he touched it. So I don't know if that was actually a hint, like, oh, now at this point he's actually going fast enough that he can do that, but not so fast that he actually impacts anything, or he actually does something like he does something dangerous, like Flashpoint is not coming just yet. Flashpoint is not coming yet, but this is just a sign that right now he's going fast enough that the box itself can actually. Because in the first one, Cyborg told him, Cyborg actually told him that you have to make sure you touch at the same time it touches the water. So he actually he slowed him. I think in that one he might have slowed himself down, but in this one he actively reverses it, so it comes out of the fluid, and then he touches it, and then stuff happens. So I think in terms of actually using the power to light up the fluid so that then Superman comes back out, I don't know why they did that, but I think it might have been more in reference to the fact that he was then still like a visual representation of the fact that he's moving so fast that he can actually reverse time. He can reverse himself. If he goes into flash time, he can reverse himself. Like he lunged on the bridge and then he actually pulled himself back before running on the wall. So I think he can actually do it to himself. But then the closer he got to the mother box, the more the mother box actually reversed itself and stuff like that. And I also wonder maybe if that could be in relation to the ship, because the ship's AI identified the mother box as apocalyptic technology. So this is direct from Darkseid's home planet. So I think it's not just science so advanced that it looks like sorcery. It's actually like Darkseid's own. So it's technology that may or may not have been developed by Darkseid himself. It's developed on his home world. It's developed on his planet by his people, and he's been using it to actually wage war across the multiverse, and to actually to wreck other planets and rid them of life and to find the anti-life equation. So yeah, so then like the ship understanding what it was and understanding what it was capable of was like, guys, I would recommend not doing this. This is a very bad idea, so don't actually try this stuff. You don't know what might happen after. So just my advice, just the ship's AI's personal advice. Don't try it. Just go. Just try and fight Steppenwolf on your own. But yeah, but I think that kind of establishment from Barry was really cool, and it definitely helped it definitely helps to set up Flashpoint too, like him actually already saying here, oh, I have a rule, I can actually, I can run faster than time, and I can actually bend time with my speed, but I actually try not to, because it can lead to devastating consequences. So him actively establishing that here definitely helps to set up Flashpoint for the future, so that was really cool. That was cool. And yeah, Lois woke up in her apartment in yet again another day, waking up in an empty bed, and then she reached into her bedside drawer. She has a pregnancy test. I don't know if she actually. I think I saw the box. I don't know if she actually took it. I mean, she went into the bathroom afterwards. I don't know if she actually took it with her and she was testing, but she has a pregnancy test. I think I definitely don't remember that from before. I don't remember that in the previous version, but this one she actually has a pregnancy test. I think that is also an interesting kind of thing to set up. I am behind on my Superman and Lois reactions. I will say that I am behind, but I am catching up. I am slowly catching up. And that show does revolve around Superman and Lois actually having two teenage boys to look after and a world to look after at the same time. But with this one, I would not think that, I mean, at least I wouldn't think that they're actually going that far into it just yet. I feel like, I feel like we at least deserve a Man of Steel sequel before we actually get a film exploring, because like they're literally not even married yet, and they haven't actually lived like as like a legally established couple as of yet. So I feel like bringing a child or even children, because he does have. I think I don't even know if he canonically has two boys, or if that's just something that the show did for themselves. Like they made one that was actually fully human and one that was actually part human, part krypton. And I don't know if they did that just for the show, or if he even in the comics he actually does have two kids. But I think he actually might have. I think in the comics, I remember seeing some artwork. I can't remember if it was artwork or an actual comic panel screenshot. But I do remember seeing like a piece somewhere of like Superman and Batman conversing, and then right next to them, Damian's Robin and a little mini Superboy was conversing. I think Superboy as well. He is Connor Kent. He is. I think he is a clone. I believe he is a clone. And again, I don't know if that's actually canonical or if that's just something they did for Titans. Like again, my knowledge on these character histories and these character origins is very, very poor and almost exclusive to how they're adapted for TV shows and movies, but still. But yeah, I mean, regardless, I think in terms of their stories, I can't really see them introducing a kid as of yet. But I think it's also still like a cool thing, because like Clark and Lois were pretty much one for each other. Like there was never anyone else in the picture. That they were both very happy together. And even in Dawn of Justice, we saw that Clark was actually preparing to propose. In Dawn of Justice, Martha did actually hand over like a little case, like a little box to Lois that actually had like a ring in it. So he was initially he was actually planning to propose and stuff. So it's not too far behind. But I think at the same time, it's like I don't know if I think like showing us that she's testing is perfectly fine. I think it's a perfectly good kind of stepping stone to set down. But I think actually like introducing the concept of kids into their lives just yet is not. I think save the world first, and then actually get ready to bring a child into it. There is no point bringing a child into a world that might just be about to be demolished by Darkseid and Steppenwolf. So yeah, but either way, it was a cool tidbit. It was a very, very cool tidbit to see. So I'm curious to see where it wherever they go with that. So I am intrigued to see more of that. And yeah, the final super emotional scene. That I think I was reminded of it when Steppenwolf came down to Star Labs and he started infiltrating the place, and then Batman did announce that he's here for the Mother Box. Or Cyborg even said he's here for the Mother Box. And I was like, wait, no, Silas took the Mother Box. Yeah, she put that back in. And then I was reminded of that scene from the trailer where we see him inside that glass room, and he's just being vaporized by that laser. So I didn't. I think I was reminded of it then, but I was even then I was like, what is he gonna do? Because then even when he fired the laser thing, I was like, deep down, I still had that question. Like Ryan himself actually established, a couple of parts back at least that the heat doesn't destroy the box. Like the boxes cannot be damaged or destroyed. Like they are living energy pretty much. So you can't create or destroy anything like that. So even heat, like the box loves heat. The box absorbs heat. It drinks it in. It takes it in. It absorbs it. It loves heat. So then I was like, surely he must have some other kind of plan, because then the box literally would not be impacted in any negative way by the heat. But all that would happen is him being in the same vicinity as the box would just literally it vaporized him. It vaporized him, burned, melted the skin, flesh right off his bones, and even his bones didn't really survive. So that was a no less emotional scene, I think. And I kept wondering, like, even when I watched the trailers, I kept wondering, like, if Silas Stone dies, isn't that something better left for the movies? Like, surely, like, a death scene like that, you'd want to leave to the movies to see how people react to a hero losing his father and his kind of mentor of sorts. So, like, surely something. But then, watching the movie now, you see that it's not the fact that he died, it's why he died, and actually what his death actually leads to. That's the important part. So then like Cyborg and Batman pieced together, is actually the fact that he knew the box wouldn't be destroyed, but what it would do is leave the box active and visible on thermal imaging systems, and that kind of energy kind of signature trail for at least a good few hours, and then that would actually leave like a glowing beacon of where Steppenwolf is, because he would take it back to right back to wherever the other two boxes are. And then that would lead the team. So then he knew that there was no keeping the mother box out of Steppenwolf's hand for what he could do, knowing who his son was now, knowing that Victor was Cyborg now, and then he even had like a team that he was working with. He was working with Batman and Flash and Wonder Woman and Aquaman, etc. Like knowing that he was working with them now, he knew he had faith that team with Cyborg would be able to actually have like a fighting chance of taking down Steppenwolf and preventing the Unity and preventing whatever was going to go or whatever was going to happen. Even then, I think even earlier in the part, he actually doesn't believe that the alarm going off is actually real, and he believes that it's a false alarm. But then he works hard to actually convince the people of that. But then as soon as he sees Victor walking in with the mother box, and he sees the team behind him, he's like, oh, okay, if this is happening, it may be a false alarm, but it's still like a false alarm for a good cause. They need the people here out of here, so that even when Steppenwolf does come, there's no people in his way that he's mowing down like any innocent scientist or anything like that. So he knows like as soon as he sees Victor there, he's like, okay, I got you. Like even that silent nod of like agreement, like those details. Again, they're there for you to notice them, but still, it's really really well done stuff. So with this one, he knew like the bigger picture was that Steppenwolf was here. There's realistically, keeping the mother box out of his hands. So then, like the least he can do is actually leave like the mother box, leaving behind like a breadcrumb trail of heat and light and everything. So then that way, even Batman actually, and I think I love that scene. But I think I love that dialogue between Batman and Flash. Flash being like, "Wait, you have a satellite that you can use?" And he's like, "Dude, I've got 6." It ties directly back into his line. It ties directly back into his line from when he first meets Barry, being like, "Oh, my superpower is wealth. I'm a really really rich. I'm a really really rich kind of dude." So he has that kind of superpower. Like he has like 6, 7, 10 satellites that all just kind of help him do this. So like that dialogue was really cool. But yeah, Batman and Cyborg piecing that together, that they could actually, even Batman acknowledging like he didn't just say like oh, Silas died to get us to the mother box. Yeah, he actively said like he actively acknowledged that oh, your father's sacrifice was so that we would be able to follow the mother box a lot more easier and actually prevent the Unity before it happens and stuff like that. So that was cool. So so Silas' death, as important as it was, only led on to bigger and more significant things for the team to follow. So I think now I guess it makes sense why Snyder wasn't really too afraid to show off Silas dying. Like sure he dies, but it's why he dies and how that brings the team together and how that brings the team closer to the final fight that actually matters. So yeah, that was really cool stuff. Really really sweet stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've picked out. Pretty much all I've written down, all I've got, all that's kind of I consider to be noteworthy, at least momentarily. I anticipate that, with the next part being the final one and there being like a... Is the epilogue the one that comes at the end, or is it the prologue? I think it's the prologue, right? I think epilogue sounds more like it comes at the beginning, and then prologue sounds like it actually comes at the end. But whichever one it is, there's going to be that too. So we actually had like one of those logs for part 1, and then it actually introduced us to part 1. So I think the next one will have part 6, and then the epilogue or prologue, whichever. I'm gonna have to look that up and actually figure out which one it is. But I anticipate that my final reaction will also have like a much lengthier review of me going over this and actually going in depth into it. So I do look forward to that, even if it does give me a headache by the end of it. But yeah, this part was great resurrection scene, great Superman versus the Justice League scene. So now hopefully next part we'll actually get Superman fighting alongside the Justice League and actually get like a good team group. And I hope that this time going into it we actually get the Justice League versus Steppenwolf and not just Superman even in the black suit, just Superman actually in the black suit versus Steppenwolf. But either way, I'm looking forward to whatever they have planned and seeing how it all comes to a conclusion. This story has been really, really amazing to watch so far, and I'm taking it in piece by piece, and I think it actually works. I think this movie lengthwise, it's also just like You know, I mean, unless you have the time and the patience for bathroom breaks and the snacks required, it's not really recommended you actually sit through the full on 4 hour runtime. And I mean, saying that, I'm still going to try it. I'm going to try it at some point. But I mean, for reaction's sake, I am very, very glad I went with the actual part by part kind of reaction format. Like it's a lot easier to digest, and I think it kind of still gives you like the kind of movie in a miniseries kind of feeling, which I kind of like over what we had before. And I think especially with the story, there's clearly like a lot more that Zack actually wanted to do that like could only fit into this kind of a runtime. So I think I definitely feel like everything Snyder wanted to do for his own cut so far, I'm definitely feeling it. I'm definitely getting that kind of vibe, and can't wait to see what his conclusion to this great story is. So, yeah, one more part to go. So, yeah, that was part 5, All the King's Horses, part 5 of the Snyder Cut of Justice League. So, as always, thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of this chapter and what you enjoyed and didn't enjoy. Any thoughts you have, leave them in the comments. Once again, the full-length reaction for this part will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.